Satan's. There's nothing good in the fourth dimension because the heavenly beings and the Most High, he lives in what we would call the fifth dimension. And so that's what Satan wants to mimic. He wants to mimic and wants people to believe him and these ascended masters are from the fifth dimension and all this. It's a hogwash. And I have audios on that, the lies of the fifth dimension, that I did 2 years ago that are on my websites and my archive page. You can go there at SherryTalkRadio and listen to them. There's 2 parts, Lies of the Fifth Dimension 1 and Part 2. Satan wants to mimic that he's God, that he's terrestrial, or that he's a celestial being. And the whole fourth dimension is what we're dealing with now, and it's surrounding us. It's these fallen angels. It's demonic beings. It's Satan working in the background, trying to rule America, the world, not just America, but the world. America was his home base. But we've done a good job with the Orgone warriors, getting Orgone out and chasing them out of a lot of these bases, these underground bases that they had strong footholds in. I'll see Dulce base come up in the Bible codes a lot. We chased them out of Dulce. We've been able to chase them out of a number of different bases, and that's just by getting our Orgone in the water supplies and in the air that they breathe and the water that they soak in, and just getting the Orgone out in general and targeting these footholds and these strongholds of Satan. You know, I was praying years ago for the Lord to show me how do we tear down the strongholds of the New World Order, and that's when he led me to Orgone, and we not only found uses for it to defend ourselves against the towers and the mind control weapons, but also that it would destroy these alien beings. It burns them. Eventually kills them. It's like a poison to them. It's like garlic to a vampire. That's what Orgone is to an alien. And so we've been able, and positive Orgone, because that Orgone is made the same. And I have directions on my website how to make your own Orgone, because this Orgone that's being promoted by Ken Adachi and Don Croft and that entire Aliens Are Our Friends crowd, they're making dead Orgone that attracts them, that attracts evil. It doesn't hurt them, it attracts them. And so there's not just a fight against aliens and the wicked and Satan on Earth. We're also fighting against other people making Orgone that attracts aliens. And so you have a fight between positive Orgone energy and negative Orgone energy. And the problem with a lot of the people that are following those crowds is their intent is to do good, but they're making worthless and useless Orgone. And so, we have fights on all fronts. It's just all around us. And I see in the codes just how exhausted the Lord's people are, and we are. We're just exhausted. But all this is coming to a head soon, folks, because they very well could be planning to stage. I've always said aliens work in this good cop, bad cop capacity. And so what they'll do, the government, and they have their own UFOs. I mean, they've had them for years. They've had UFO technology for 40 years now. They can build their own UFOs. The alien UFOs are crashing. And you'll see them flying like fireball meteors across the sky. And this isn't just a phenomenon in America. This is around the world. This is in Europe. This is in Israel. In Brazil. It's everywhere. People seeing fireballs flying out of the sky. Those are the real alien ships being burned out of the sky because they're coming in contact with our Orgone because it's assimilating into the atmosphere and it's causing their ships to crash. It will not affect man-made UFOs. And so what they're going to do, I think they're going to do, one of their plans is to stage a fake UFO invasion with their own UFOs. Russia has them, China has them, America has them. There's at least 8 different countries that have their own UFOs, and they can pilot them with their own Air Force pilots to stage boogeymen aliens attacking the Earth. Because no one's believing this boogeyman terrorist stuff. So now they have to come up with a different enemy, a new Al-Qaeda. So now they'll use the aliens. And you know what? I wouldn't even really, care about it, because if it's true, you don't want to be with the aliens. But the thing about it is the after effects, because they're going to stage this alien invasion to unite the world, and then after they get rid of all the bad aliens, now the good aliens are going to come. Yeah, they're going to kill all the bad ones off so Jesus can come, and he's the good alien. He's the Son of God, and he's coming with his host from heaven. And if they want to pull that off, they got to hurry up, because this Sananda, this Jesus, is scheduled to arrive in September of 2009. And so, September 2009, this September, or is it next September? Because September of this year starts a new Israel New Year. So very interesting. Is it going to start this year, next? I guess we're going to find out either way. They're going to have to hurry up because they only got about a month to pull it off. And I've always seen a lot of disasters for 2009, and all year long have been struggling to know if this is the year 2009 or not, or year 2009, and so it's always been a wait and see. For this whole year has been a wait and see practically. If we do have another year, then perhaps Matriel will come out of his hiding and make his entrance in March like he was supposed to this year. Maybe he'll do it next year, and this Sananda would arrive in September of next year then, and it gives them more time this year to deal with their planned destructions they have coming for America. I know people are sending videos and photos of, all these plastic coffins that they're stockpiling up in Georgia and in other places across the country. Doesn't necessarily mean Georgia's going to be the one that's hit. I mean, you wouldn't put your coffins where they're going to be destroyed. And Atlanta, Georgia is going to be one of the main base for the East Coast capital of the New World Order when all is said and done, when all destructions are done hitting the earth. And so they're moving them around and getting them positioned. One of the things that I've always warned about is that they expect a comet to hit the Atlantic. And talked about this last year and the year before, because every spring it comes up, and every spring the government goes into a panic, and they start hiding, because May, June, and July are the months that this comet would hit the Atlantic. And so doing it again this year, except now they've got their little front man, Richard Boylan, sending out an article talking about November 15th being the target date for this year. I can almost guarantee you that if it really was going to hit, they would not tell you the correct date. Everybody expects it to hit November 15th, and it would hit 2 months earlier, Nobody knows when it's going to hit. And the only reason they even talk about it is because the aliens told them it was going to hit. The aliens have remote viewed the fallen angels, father of lies and his seed, have remote viewed into the future and have seen this comet hitting the Atlantic Ocean. And so ever since I've been onto it, which has been about 7 or 8 years now, it's probably even been longer than that for them, but for me it's been the last 7 or 8 years. They don't know when it's going to hit, so every year they kind of get panicky about it in the summertime. And so not real sure why they're saying November when it would be any time, actually. So, I don't know. There's something that's going on. People think a comet's going to hit. And that was another aspect of their plan. If we can't, we'll pull out the alien invasion, scare everybody by this one, or the asteroid that's coming. And I find that interesting because the Bible Codes has no talk of an asteroid. Not the ones I've been looking at. We'll talk about a rock or a boulder. I think it's something that they're going to do. I have seen comets hitting the Earth in 2009, well after the Antichrist is established here on Earth and in power. And so I've always viewed them as God's judgment on the Earth. So anything that happens before then is their own doing. I could just see them getting together this huge rock up on Jupiter or Mars or the moon somewhere and then hurling it toward Earth and telling everybody an asteroid's coming and causing destruction. I wouldn't put it past them. I really wouldn't. And that's pretty much the way it looks as well. I don't know. Just so many fear tactics going on and trying to get their own agendas going and then mixing everything up to keep people confused. And that's why I always just depend on the Lord to let me know what's going on, what it is I need to know. Coach doesn't always tell me everything I want to know. Sometimes you just don't need to know too far ahead, I guess. Or it's easier to know what's coming farther ahead than it is right in the present. I don't know. But he seems to tell me what he wants me to know. And so, he stands other people up to do the rest. But certainly have to watch who it is, the We Love Alien crowd. Certainly not of the Lord. And so don't even deal with that one because there's no good terrestrial. There's not a nice one and an evil one. They just play good cop, bad cop routine. Some will appear as gray aliens, some will appear looking as humans. You have your short grays, you have your tall grays. And the whole other thing is like I've got on thewatcherfiles.com, I have YouTube of Bush giving speeches in front of the Oval Office outside, and in the background you see aliens in his office. They're all working together, folks. They're working together. And so one of the things that I was watching on YouTube the other day was this video of George Bush and how he has that recorder, that battery pack on his back.